Welcome, explorers, to Billy Bob's Outdoor Science Adventures. Today we're going to be exploring the predator-prey relationship that exists among animals. Our travels will take us to our favorite state, Michigan. Did you know that the longest ever recorded study of a predator-prey relationship featuring a closed ecosystem is taking place right here in this great state of Michigan? You betcha! There's a small island off the coast of Minnesota called Royale. Here's a closer look at the island that we're going to be visiting today. In order to reach our destination, we'll need to hop aboard our vessel for the trek across Lake Superior. As we approach the island, you can see the lighthouse off in the distance. These magnificent structures provide guidance to the ships that come in. This small island is a very special place. In the early 1900s, the moose first swam over from Minnesota to the island. Moose are very powerful swimmers, and they sought the island for refuge. Here, they thrived on the island for almost 50 years with no natural predators. The moose had the entire island to themselves. They could go where they want, swim where they want, and sleep where they want. The moose had all the fresh vegetation they could eat, especially aquatic vegetation, which was an important staple to the diet of the moose. Everything was great until one cold winter caused the waters to freeze over between Minnesota and Royale, creating a land bridge. The thick blocks of ice that formed across Lake Superior allowed the wolves to travel to the island. When the ice bridge thawed in the spring, it left the wolves trapped on the island. But little did they know that they would have a plentiful food source. Enter the moose. The perfect predator-prey relationship had been established, and there were no humans or other outside creatures to mess it up, which is why we refer to this as a closed ecosystem. Over the course of the next 50 years, scientists began to study the moose and wolves of Royale to see how they interacted with one another. Scientists soon learned that the female wolves would get pregnant in early spring and give birth to their pups shortly thereafter. The wolf pups were young and they needed to be taken care of by the adult members of the wolf pack. But the pups were learning quickly. As time passed, they began to emulate the adult members of the wolf pack, so that they soon too could become a contributing member to the wolf pack society. The wolves lived in dens that they used for shelter and also to help protect their young. Like the wolves, the female moose also get pregnant in early spring and give birth to moose calves. Here's a baby moose calf that will soon learn everything from their mothers in their first year of their lives. When mama senses danger, it's time to run, and the little calf will be right on her heels because she knows mama has a keen sense for keeping her safe. Wolves, on the other hand, live in packs, and they establish dominance by displaying who's the strongest alpha male. This is often decided as a result of wolves fighting with one another. Wolves are very intelligent, and they have learned to hunt in packs like this one. As the wolves work together as a team, they are more effective at bringing down their prey, which is much larger than they are. Wolves avoid expending energy as much as possible when they are hunting, so they try to hunt smarter by trying to find moose that are weak or injured. The jaws of the wolf are very strong, and they can easily tear apart their prey. Wolves will devour as much of a moose carcass as they possibly can. They never know how long it will be until their next feeding. When wolves get done feeding, it's time for them to return back to their dens to enjoy a little rest and relaxation. The bull moose was happy that it was not him that was chosen today, and so he takes the opportunity to relax in the field, but always keeping an eye out for the hungry wolves. One thing that is very important to the survival of the moose in the summer heat is the immersion of their bodies in water. Moose can enjoy the opportunity to cool off, but also are in a safe place if wolves attack because moose are excellent swimmers and wolves are very weak swimmers. The wolves prefer the dry lands to hunt on, and soon they are back on the trail. Scientists have been visiting Royale for over 50 years collecting data samples to learn as much as they can about the changes in population of the moose and the wolf. They look at samples of plants like this one for evidence of what they think the moose are consuming. Can you spot which part of the plant the moose ate? Scientists also hunt for bones that they can use to reconstruct the anatomy of both moose and wolves. As you can see in the picture here, the skeleton of a moose is much larger than that of the wolf next to it. Another thing scientists search for is the abundance of plants that are available for the moose to eat. Balsam fir, which is more formally known as evergreen, is a major component of the moose's diet. However, it does not provide all the nutrients that are necessary for the moose to grow. Because aquatic plants are the ones that moose need the most, surviving through a cold winter can be tough for them. And if things were not tough enough for them, they have to keep in mind that there's always a pack of wolves on the hunt for them. Then if you thought things couldn't get any harder for the moose, along comes the moose tick, a parasitic organism that draws blood from the moose to live on. The moose try rubbing their backs against trees to get them off, but often result in losing coats of their fur. Nonetheless, some of the moose do not seem to be bothered. As time passes, changes are beginning to threaten the balance of this perfect closed ecosystem. Scientists continue to search for clues to explain why these changes in population are happening. A recent discovery that is affecting the wolves is the lack of genetic diversity in the gene pool, which has led to mutations that are affecting their hip structure. A wolf that is unable to run is unable to hunt. I'm sure you can figure out the rest. Other threats to this ecosystem come from the increased amounts of carbon dioxide that we are pumping into our atmosphere every day. Global warming may soon be a known cause for the decline of the moose population. Since the 1930s, when Isle Royale became a national park, the moose and wolves of Isle Royale have been protected from hunters and continue to be studied by scientists from all over the world. Isle Royale will always remain a very special place because of the amazing contributions that have resulted from studying it. I hope you all enjoyed your journey through Isle Royale. I hope your boat ride back to the mainland is smooth sailing, because this is where Captain Billy Bob signs off. I'm going to be catching a flight to northern Canada to study the Arctic hare. Thanks for joining in on our adventure to Isle Royale. And remember, let nature be your guide.